So guys, let's start from the cerebrum frontal lobe. Let's first talk about the functional anatomy and the basic function of the frontal lobe. First, we should develop the understanding of the boundaries. The easy way to know the boundaries is how do we separate the lobes. This there is this frontal, this temporal lobe and parietal lobe. So how do we separate these two lobes from the frontal lobe? Okay. So first, let's see this thick line here is the sulcus. This is the central sulcus. That is the boundary for the parietal and frontal lobe. So second one, here is another sulcus. This is the lateral lateral sulcus, which separates the temporal lobe from the frontal lobe. Sometimes it is also called Sinner's fissure. So now the functional areas of the frontal lobe. So just anterior to the central sulcus, and we go from here. Okay. So first one is this portion. This portion is just anterior to the central sulcus. This area is like a mountain called gyrus with furrows in between, which are called sulci. This functional portion of this gyrus is called primary motor cortex. Okay, primary motor primary motor cortex. So this is primarily involved in voluntary movement, particularly that is of the skeletal muscles. Okay, then from anterior to the surface there is this blue color line. This is made from the two components. Okay, two components. One is premotor sorry pre premotor cortex, and another is supplementary supplementary motor cortex. Okay, cortex or area. Basically it is divided into side. The upper part is the supplementary, and the lower part is the premotor cortex. So it is mainly associated, these two are mainly associated with the movement, involved in the movement. Specifically they are in sorry planning, sequencing and executing the execution of the movement, or execution of the movement. Okay, movement. So these two are collectively called as motor association motor association cortex. So we described so far we described this area, this primary motor cortex, then this area supplementary motor cortex, and this area is premotor cortex. Okay, now we discuss this all. Now the third portion, this in the this somewhat green color, is the frontal eye field. So this frontal eye field is for the rapid eye movement, rapid voluntary eye movement. Okay, or we can say it involves in the voluntary rapid eye movement. Mm. Now this is also done. Now last, not last, the second last is this portion, this um, blue portion here, somewhat blue portion. This blue portion is the large part. This large part is prefrontal cortex. Frontal Prefrontal cortex. So sometimes it is also termed as prefrontal association area. So let's see what it does. So it is basically involved in the memory and learning, and it is also involved in the motor planning. And this is because this is involved in motor planning because it also communicates with the basal ganglia. Lastly, it is involved in the personality and behavior. Personality and behavior. So lastly, we have another area. This orange colored area is the Broca's area. For this area, we need to understand that this area is particularly found in the dominant hemisphere of the brain. That is, if someone is right-handed, if someone is right-handed, then this area will be found in the hemisphere, left hemisphere of the frontal lobe. Okay, and another important thing for this area is it is its function is to control the muscles of the speech. So finally, we did the surface overview for the frontal lobe. Now next we will discuss them one by one with more depth and clinical correlation.